guys, Diptesh here. Welcome to the ultimate laptop buying guide for 2020. So guys, a lot of people comment on my videos about different laptops with different set of configuration, whether or not those configuration will suit their purpose or not. So mostly people are quite confused about what configuration they should get for their purposes. So guys, I have made this video to cover what configuration you should get for your particular use case. Now I have covered a variety of use case. I have tried to cover almost all the use cases from lightweight productivity to extremely high-end gaming. I've covered all the use cases, and I hope after watching this video you will be educated enough to make your own decision. You will know what configuration to purchase to suffice what needs. And guys, this video took me quite a long time to make, so a like and a sub would be appreciated. So without any further ado, let's get right into the video. Okay, now right off the bat, let me tell you, I am not so good at making nice graphics and stuff. So I basically made this whole chart in Google Docs explaining and categorizing all the various use cases along with the configuration and prices. So yeah, I'm sorry I do not have any kind of attractive graphical visually attractive video, but I made this chart and it will be also linked down below if you want to download it. So yeah, and at the end of the video I have written some points that you must remember over here. As you can see, there are some things that you should keep in mind, and these are very important, so stick around till the end of the video to get the whole picture. So without wasting time, let's take a look at the minimum laptop requirements that you must have in 2020. These are the absolute bare minimums that you should definitely have. So display resolution 1920 by 1080p, nothing less than that. In terms of processor, you must have a quad core processor. Doesn't matter if it has hyper-threading or not, you must at least have 4 physical cores in your laptop. So that means no longer i3 is viable in 2020. No generation, not even i3 10th generation has quad core. It is still dual core, so no i3. And also no Ryzen 3 3000 series. So keep this in mind, no Ryzen 3 3000 series and no Intel Core i3 in 2020. In terms of RAM, you must have 8GB of DDR4 RAM. That is the minimum. It is compulsory to purchase an SSD in 2020. An SSD will make a world of difference to your laptop. You can watch my video on why you need an SSD in 2020, and if your laptop that you're going to purchase does not come with an SSD built in, you purchase an SSD from the market and you put it in your laptop and you will see a huge difference. So keep this in mind, whatever laptop you purchase in 2020 must have these minimum specifications. So without any further ado, let's take a look at the first use case. That is, you want a thin and light laptop for college for light to medium level of productivity. So you're going to college, you need a thin and light laptop for coding, for Android Studio, for 1080p editing, lightweight 1080p editing. What configuration should you get? So you have the option for Ryzen 5 2500U and the Ryzen 5 3500U. Now both of these CPUs are quad-core hyper-threading CPUs, very capable CPUs. So in 2020, the Ryzen 5 3500U has actually replaced the 2500U. It is difficult to get 2500U laptops in the market anymore. Notice how I do not mention any kind of Intel Core i5 8th generation or 10th generation CPUs in this price bracket. That's because most of these Intel Core i5 laptops in this price bracket do not come with dedicated Nvidia graphics. Now in engineering college especially, these days esports gaming is very popular. Games like Valorant, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Dota 2, these types of games are very popular. So if your Intel laptop that you purchased in this price bracket does not come with any kind of Nvidia dedicated graphics, they are incapable of running these kind of games at good frame rates. But these Ryzen CPUs come with inbuilt Vega 8 graphics which are capable of handling these esports title at 60 FPS at 720p. So for esports gaming, these Ryzen configurations is great. So yeah, for a lightweight laptop for lightweight and medium productivity, the Ryzen 5 2500U or the Ryzen 5 3500U should be your choice in this price bracket. So moving on, now you need a lightweight laptop for medium to heavy productivity. Now you want to use a laptop for 1080p editing but with better quality and heavier files. You want to do heavier color grading and stuff like this. You want to use MATLAB. You want to use Android Studio but to develop larger apps, stuff like this. You want to use a laptop for simulation or emulation. So once again, for this specific use case and price bracket, Ryzen is your best choice. So you have the Ryzen 5 4500U, 6 core 6 threads, 2.3 GHz base, 4.0 GHz boost clock, based on the new 7nm architecture, which is very efficient. It also comes with the Vega GPU, 6 cores at 1500 MHz, really capable built-in integrated graphics, capable of pushing more than 60 FPS at 1080p when it comes to esports games. And you also have the Ryzen 7 4700U with 8 cores and 8 threads, 2.0 GHz base clock and 4.1 GHz all-core boost clock, 12 megabytes of cache, 7 nanometer architecture. Once again, Vega GPU with 7 cores at 1600 MHz. So both of these Ryzen 5 and Ryzen 7 4000 series CPUs destroyed the Intel Core i5 and i7 U series 10 Gen CPUs. So for this particular price bracket and your particular use case, the Ryzen 5 and Ryzen 7 4000 should be your choice. And keep one thing in mind, some of the laptops don't allow you to expand the RAM in this case. For example, I think the VivoBook doesn't allow RAM expansion. The RAM is soldered, so keep this in mind before purchase. Okay, now moving on, a bit of a special case. Now you want a lightweight laptop but for serious productivity, and not many laptops fulfill this niche. So you have the Asus Zephyrus G14, which is a special laptop. It's a thin and light laptop, but it's a portable powerhouse. So it comes with these configuration: the Ryzen 5 4600HS, the Ryzen 7 4800HS. It comes with the Ryzen 9 4900HS, and it also comes with GPU options ranging from the GTX 1650 all the way up to the RTX 2060 Max-Q, and the price range also varies from 80,000 rupees to estimated 1.5 lakhs. So if you want a laptop for this special case and you have the money to afford it, then you can go for the Asus Zephyrus G14. Especially with the Ryzen 9 4900HS configuration with the 8 cores and 16 threads, it's seriously impressive that such a thin and light laptop can perform so impressively. Moving on to the next use case. So now you want a laptop for entry level gaming only. So you want to play at 1080p resolution, medium settings, and you want your laptop to give you 60 FPS for at least the next 2 years. So you have a couple of choices in this range when it comes to CPU options: the Ryzen 5 3550H and the Intel Core i5 9300H. Both of these are again 4 cores multi-threading parts. But I want to tell you, the Intel Core i5 9300H is actually a lot more capable compared to the Ryzen 5 3550H. So if you find the Ryzen 5 3550H at around 45,000 rupees price tag, then go for it. Otherwise, you should go for the i5 9300H. The GPU you'll get in this price tag with this CPU combination is the GTX 1650, the GDDR5 version. Because these are the last generation respective Ryzen and Intel CPUs, they don't come with the new GTX 1650 with the GDDR6 graphics, which is not that much better. So in this price range, you should go with this configuration ranging from 45,000 rupees to 55,000 rupees. That's the maximum. 58,000 rupees should be the maximum that you pay for a GTX 1650 and Intel Core i5 9300H configuration if you are wanting to get a laptop for entry-level gaming only. Moving on, and our requirements are rising slowly. So now you want an entry-level gaming laptop, plus you want to use the laptop for high-end productivity applications also. Now this is a special category that has formed in 2020. That's because of the new Ryzen 4000 series releases. This category did not exist until 2020. So you want to use a laptop not only for entry level gaming, but also you want to use a laptop for high quality 1080p editing with heavy color grading. You want to use it for MATLAB, emulation, simulation, 3D modeling and stuff like this. So for this specific use case, you can go for the AMD Ryzen 5 4600H configuration, which has 6 cores, 12 threads, 3 GHz base clock, 4.0 GHz boost clock, all core boost, 11 megabytes of cache, and 7 nanometer Zen 2 architecture, which is very efficient and does not heat at all. This particular processor, the AMD Ryzen 5 4600H, is seriously impressive. It is actually faster than the Intel Core i7 9750H by a lot, and it is also faster than the i7 10750H when it comes to multi-threading performance by at least 20 to 25%. Along with this CPU combination, you should get the GTX 1650 or the GTX 1650 Ti, both which are the GDDR6 versions. Overall, this package will allow you to play entry-level games, 1080p, 60 FPS medium settings till the next 2 years. Also allow you to do high-end productivity workloads. 2 points to note: 16 gigabytes of dual channel DDR4 3200 MHz RAM is a minimum requirement for heavy productivity, and for professional work a color accurate monitor is always recommended. And the price tag for this whole configuration, the CPU and GPU configuration, should be around 60,000 rupees to at max 75,000 rupees. So moving on, now you need a laptop for desktop productivity, which can also provide you with entry-level gaming on the side. So basically, you want a budget workstation laptop. So in this special case, the GPU matters less because most of the productivity workloads are CPU bound, heavily CPU bound. So in this use case, you can go with the AMD Ryzen 7 4800H, which is one of the fastest and most powerful laptop CPUs for productivity. It is faster than the Intel Core i7 10875H, and it is also faster than the Intel Core i9 10980HK when it comes to multi-thread workloads. Not only that, the Ryzen 7 4800H is only defeated by its own higher sibling, which is the Ryzen 9 4900H. So this Ryzen 7 4800H comes with 8 cores, 16 threads, 2.9 GHz base clock, 4.2 GHz all-core boost, 12 MB of cache, and 7 nanometer architecture. So once again, it is very efficient and does not need a lot of power. It stays cool in even heavy workloads. Once again, the GPU option for this configuration is the GTX 1650 or the 1650 Ti, and the price for this whole configuration should be around 75,000 rupees to 85,000 rupees. Couple of points to note: you need a minimum of 32 GB of RAM for extreme productivity workloads, and also a color accurate monitor is recommended if you are doing professional color grading works. Next up, now you want a laptop for mid-level gaming only. So 1080p resolution, high settings, 60 FPS for at least the next 2 years. And the configuration is pretty simple in this case. The Intel Core i5 9300H and the GTX 1660 Ti 6GB GDDR6 combination. The rough price should be around 78,000 rupees to 85,000 rupees. And couple of nice to haves in this price range is a high refresh rate monitor, 120 Hz or more, and 16 GB of dual channel RAM. So moving on, we have a bit of a special case once again. So in the previous use case, I told you about a laptop for mid-level gaming only. Now there are a couple of laptops in the market that allow you to have this special combination of a CPU that is capable of high-end productivity and a GPU that allows you mid-level gaming. And this is also another special category that has formed in 2020 only. This category didn't exist before 2020. And the two laptops that allow you this special case is the HP Omen 15 with the Ryzen 5 4600H and the Nvidia GTX 1660 Ti combination, or the Dell G5 15 Special Edition with the AMD Ryzen 5 4600H and the AMD Ryzen 7 4800H, along with the Radeon RX 5600M 6GB GDDR6 configuration. So the HP Omen is always out of stock most of the time. So the this particular 1660 Ti combination goes for around 86,000 rupees for the 60 Hz panel and 1,05,000 rupees for the 144 Hz panel, and that particular 1 lakh rupees option is available only on the HP online store. It is not in stock yet, by the way. And for the Dell, it's around 77,000 rupees for up to 80,000 rupees for the Ryzen 7 version. Both come with 120 Hz panels. Once again, I want to give a couple of warnings with the Dell G5 15. There has been a lot of inconsistent stability problems with this laptop, so keep that in mind. So moving on, now we are going into really high-end price tag categories. You want a laptop for high-end gaming as well as desktop level productivity workloads. You want a laptop for high-end gaming that is 1080p resolution, very high settings or ultra settings, 60 FPS at least for the next 2 years. Not only that, you also need the laptop for desktop level productivity applications. Now this is once again a special category that has formed in 2020 due to the release of Ryzen 4000. So the particular CPU GPU combination in this price range and for this particular use case is the AMD Ryzen 7 4800H or its higher end sibling, the AMD Ryzen 9 4900H. The 4900H is the absolute fastest CPU for productivity workloads in the laptop segment. There is no CPU faster than the AMD Ryzen 9 4900H when it comes to multi-threading performance and any kind of heavy productivity workloads. So the Ryzen 9 4900H comes with 8 cores, 16 threads, 3.3 GHz of base clock, 4.4 GHz of all-core boost, 12 MB of cache, 7 nanometer Zen 2 architecture. Once again, very efficient, doesn't require a lot of power. When it comes to the GPU choice with this particular CPU combination, it is the Nvidia RTX 2060 6GB GDDR6 combination. For this particular price tag of over 1 lakh to 1,25,000 rupees, you must also have a monitor with this laptop that comes with this particular specification of 144 Hz IPS panel, more than 70% of NTSC coverage and more than 90% of sRGB coverage, and it should also have less than 10 milliseconds of response times. So yeah, this particular combination of Ryzen 7 or Ryzen 9 with the RTX 2060 will allow you to have high-end gaming experience along with desktop level of productivity applications. Moving on to a more simpler use case, that is you want a laptop for high-end gaming only. You don't care about productivity applications and all. You want a laptop for high-end gaming only. Once again, 1080p resolution, very high ultra setting, 60 fps for at least the next 2 years. So the combination that you can go for is the popular Intel Core i7 9750H or the Intel Core i7 10750H. Both are very capable gaming CPUs, and the GPU combination with this CPU is the RTX 2060. Also, the laptop monitor should have the following specification of 144Hz IPS, more than 70% of NTSC coverage, and more than 90% of sRGB coverage. Should have less than 10 milliseconds of response times. RAM, it should come with 16GB of DDR4 2666 MHz RAM for the 9th generation Intel Core i7, or 16GB of DDR4 2933 MHz RAM for the 10th generation Intel Core i7, and the price range varies from 90,000 rupees up to 1,15,000 rupees. If it goes above 1,15,000 rupees, I would ask you and recommend you wholeheartedly to go for the Ryzen 7 4800H and the RTX 2060 combination laptops. That will give you better value for money compared to only the i7 10750H combination with the RTX 2060. If the price goes above 1,15,000, keep this thing in mind. Okay, so at the end, you want a laptop for the ultimate gaming experience. You have no budget constraints. You can purchase anything under the sky. So these are the CPU GPU combinations that you can go with. It's the Intel Core i7 10875H and the Intel Core i9 10980HK. Both of these CPUs are Intel's highest end gaming CPUs. These will give you the highest frame rates possible for a gaming laptop. And the GPU combination that you can go with is the Nvidia RTX series 2070, 2070 Super, 2080 or 2080 Super. The prices for the laptops, sky is the limit. Starts from around, I think so, 2,49,990 rupees for the Lenovo Legion 7i and goes upwards, skyrockets. So yeah, if you are a baller, you want the ultimate mobile gaming experience, this is the combination that you should go for. Okay, before we end the video, some things that you must keep in mind. Number one, the U series parts are 15 to 25 watt parts, whereas the H series parts are 45 to 100 watt parts. Number two, Ryzen 4000U or H series CPU is substantially more powerful in productivity compared to corresponding Intel parts. That's why I always recommend Ryzen, as they are more balanced. They are equally capable for gaming, but they are more capable for productivity. So you get the best of both worlds. Number three, Intel H series is still the ultimate king in gaming. Corresponding Ryzen H series is still 5 to 8% slower in gaming, although it's not that noticeable in the real world in my opinion. But for the ultimate gaming, for the ultimate frame rates, the Intel H series is still the king. Number 4, Ryzen HS series is a 35 watt part for thin and light productivity / gaming machines compared to the H series. So basically in long term workloads, H series is faster than the HS series. Number 5, Ryzen 4000 series of CPUs are far more efficient, heatless, and budget laptops like the Acer Nitro 5 2020, the Omen 15, Pavilion, Lenovo Legion have a much easier time with cooling compared to their Intel counterparts, and so they can maintain boost clocks for much longer periods, and also with the similar battery capacity, the Ryzen counterparts provide much longer battery life. Number 6, Ryzen CPUs benefit hugely from dual channel RAM. That's why I always recommend you to upgrade RAM to dual channel whenever possible if you have a Ryzen machine, because it gives you at least a 15% performance boost. Especially the Vega integrated graphics gets a huge boost. Number 7, Intel's single core boost is based on what Intel calls thermal velocity boost. So a single core boost up to X gigahertz is only till the CPU temperature is less than 70 degrees centigrade. Keep this thing in mind. Number 8, Max-Q Nvidia cards are lower TDP parts compared to the non-Max-Q cards. The non-Max-Q cards are actually called as Max-P. So the Max-Q cards have lower core clocks and memory clocks. So basically Max-Q is weaker than non-Max-Q, also known as Max-P. Number 9, and this is quite important, most 10th generation Intel laptops cannot be manually undervolted, and manufacturers are sending BIOS updates to 9th gen Intel laptops also that disables manual undervolting. Beware, as myself who is an Intel H series user, I can say undervolting is very important for the longevity of the CPU performance as well as thermals. So keep this thing in mind before purchasing any 10 gen Intel Core, i5 or 10 generation Intel Core i7 laptops. Okay guys, that's it for this video. I hoped I covered all the use cases. Once again, if you have any doubt, you can join the Discord server, ask them questions. A lot of people are there, over 500 people are there in the server who can help you. And yeah, I tried to cover all the scenarios. Now it's up to you to make the decision. Now you're educated in what configuration helps you achieve what specific use cases, so now you can make the correct choice. Alright guys, that's it for this video. My name is Diptesh. Thank you for watching. A like and a sub would be much appreciated, as it took a long time for me to make this video. Okay guys, that's it. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.